Why do you always get twisted? Alright. Let's see if anybody turns up. Boom, 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 boom. And it's My Way, winner of the first arrived. Well done, My Way. You get a prize of absolutely nothing. And ITC. Alright. And the Textralian. Yep, up late. I only just finished doing a bunch of stuff today. It's been one of those wild ride days where you definitely do not have enough time to get things done. And then just when you think you've got a breather, you get more things running onto the queue. So I'm already still a little bit behind, but I did want to get this done because I did tell the person that hopefully we'll have an answer by tomorrow. Yes, this is the ONEWIRE fault. And sorry, just checking another machine that I've been working on. Okay, your game phone. Alright. Well, having magnets and weird stuff on your power connector is probably not a good thing. I'll just put that down there. It was pretty much, funnily enough, this thing came in and it was showing a green light initially, and I thought the problem was something else. But then it didn't show the green light, so I think that was the real problem all along. Let's see. And we've got, no green light. Funnily enough, I can actually bootstrap it. And this is why I think it's a particular part that I'm going to be replacing at fault. If I can find my tweezers. Did I have a good sleep? Nope, did not. Hey Trinity. I haven't had a good sleep in a while now. It's starting to become a bit of a problem in all honesty. Yeah, let's see. Okay. We have down here, this is 96, I think 16 or something, 9616. Anyway, oops, my tweezers are so janky. I don't know if you can see that. Nope, you cannot. You see why Lewis has to keep turning off his microscope. There we go. So we've got a green light if I bootstrap it. And this is a Core 2 Duo machine apparently. At least according to TCRS. So it will not self-boot or self-start. No, I'm not going to bother doing that. Hey Amy. I feel like I've got a cough. I suck something back in. Sorry about that, folks. I've taken the pop filter off this microphone just to try and get a bit more clarity in the voice. What the hell? How did I not see this? Yeah, it just looks like lint. I was going to say, how did I not see this when I was looking at it the other day? But it does look just like lint to me. It doesn't... It's not corrosion. Just trash from living under the speaker for too long. I've taken the pop filter off the microphone to try to give it a little bit more clarity, because when I was listening over the videos from the other day, I just felt there was a little bit too much bass, and I don't know. I guess I'm comparing a $100 Samson microphone to Lewis's DPA, so it's probably not a fair comparison. No, it's just trashy lint, fluff and dust. It's hard to see on the screen, but it is that. Look, I'll show you. It's not corrosion, and it's not liquid. It's sort of like if you get cement dust, mix it with fluff and hair. That's what it looks like. Okay. Anyway, so I'll go through what I did for this. Let's see if I can correctly bring up the schematic for this. Oh great, QPDF does not give me prior prior boards that I've looked at. Well, that just sucks. This is a A202330. It's getting pretty old. Is this going to work? Okay. Alright, we've got a schematic. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Alright, let's find what I'm after. Because this is the old style ONEWIRE circuit. Not the nice, friendly new one. Hey, Alan. Let's see. I'm just going to push this over a little bit. Alright. What is it with open broadcast that likes to reverse the colours, the R and the G or whatever? This is the same sort of circuit that is now replaced by a simple AND gate and a little one chip controller. And it's a little bit sort of awkward to follow, but I think the hardest thing on this that throws most people is that, I'm just going to kill that, is that the power ends up coming back through this MOSFET into this area here, rather than normally you're used to reading schematics going from left to right as a typical 10C. The resistor that I'm shorting to bootstraps, this one here, 6916, which is forcibly pulling this MOSFET down, and when that's forcibly pulled down, it causes this one here to be pulled up, and then once that's pulled up, make sure I'm not telling porkies here. Wait, no, sorry. Yeah, it shuts that, which then lets that float up, and which pulls this up, which then lets this one wire come through. Now the problem I think in this case, or at least I believe, is that this comparator here is faulty, and fairly sure that this is an open collector comparator, which means it can simply pull to ground. That's really all it can do. It can't do much more than that. It can't magically pull this line up to a voltage or anything like that. The only thing it's got the ability to do is yank it down to the ground. So the fact that even when the settings here were such that it should be going to ground, it wasn't, so I'm sort of thinking it can't be functioning. So anyway, so I just had to wait to get one of those sent. Thankfully it is a fairly sort of common part, and it arrived today, and hopefully it will actually work. And naturally I bought 10 of them just in case, which means I will probably use 2 more and then never again. And it'll go into my collection of a million other parts that I have bought 10 of or whatever, only to use 1 or 2. Get that aside. So let's have a look at this. It's a nice big chunky piece too, as soon as I can find it. There we go. Alright, paper towel. You and I are not agreeing today. You can go there. By the way, I bought a new chair. I was very lucky. Someone was in the neighbouring town, and I was able to get them to bring a chair in for me. So I won't fall off the channel this time. No, I'm not going to do a one-fire conversion. I mean, I know I can. I know how to do it, and I know I've seen Lewis do it and all that. And that's no problem if it's your own, but I'm not doing it for me, for the customer. They may try their very best to not make mistakes, but I'm not willing to have that on my head. And I know that, I know Lewis would never really suggest that anyway. He's only just entertaining me. Okay. It's a fairly monstrous part in comparison to what you're used to on iPhones. There we go. We've got it in view. Good enough. We shouldn't end up melting that transformer. It should stay intact. I think that was melted for quite a while. It's just the solder was a bit dirty and didn't seem to come up clean. Hey, Krajay! Fancy that, you caught the stream. Maybe YouTube heard your complaints. What have I done? What have I done with my solder again? Nope. Blast. I should really get myself a BCM2 tip for the hacker. The BCM2 and the BCM3, they have a little recess in the tip, and it looks like corroded, but it's not. It's deliberately there so that it picks up the excess solder. Yeah, it's okay. Not a big issue. We've got lots of solder here. I'm not wicking those pads, there's no point. They're all ready to go as they are. I can hear that dog. It's just never ending. Wow, watching that, Paul. That's really bad. Really, really bad. I should have put more flux down. I'll just touch them up with the soldering iron. There we go. The things you can get away with when you're not working on iPhones. Nice thing is, because it's crooked like that, it'll get mistaken for someone else's work. Hummed it. I have the BC2, rarely use it though. Okay, I was mostly thinking of using it on things like the iPhone, say like the TriStars, things like that, BGA type pads where you want to pick up all the excess. Alright, let's see if this even works. We'll put it under the microscope in case it goes pop. But it probably won't. I hope it doesn't. Let's see. It helps if you line it up. Yep, we got green light. There, we're fixed. So that's all that was. It's just the comparator. Now let's see if I can actually make a fan spin. Oof. And fan spin. Funnily enough, I've got the, I think it's the D12 tip, and I was the same. I used it once just to test it, and that was it. Didn't ever use it again. Oh well. Okay, so we've got green light. I'm gonna have to use this to, you know, to see me try and which one were you again? Damn it. I just gotta find a ground around here. So I can go there to there. That should turn it on. Which is what? There we go. Yep, we got a fan spin. Ah, shame, you can't see that. I've got to get used to this chair. I'm used to the old one that's got arms on the side, and this one doesn't. Okay, open board view did its job. Let's see. I'd be curious to see how you go with the JVC. I quite like the Hakko's beep. As long as you don't change tips too often, it's not so bad. I guess I should build this thing and see if it really does work. This is my weak point for MacBook repairs, and that is reassembling the damn things. So in the end, that laptop needed a new DC in port and a new comparator, and that was it. So fortunately, I didn't have to do the FireWire emulation on my Sys1 I just had to work out that it was the comparator and then change it. Because it doesn't always work out that way, because you're not always guaranteed to be able to get a replacement part, particularly if you don't have a donor board. And that is something I did not have. I did not have a donor board for this particular one. Yeah, there's some good amount of dust building up in here. Oh man, these things are nightmarish. Really? It's like 50 trillion flippin' connectors. Yeah, well, I suppose I shouldn't complain. At least it's working. And because it's working, it means I get money. Hey, Cormac. Yeah, the JSO2 is the one that I'm using at the moment. Now, I do not do enough of these to just be able to subconsciously reassemble them. Not the way I can do with my the likes of the Toshibas and whatnot. As far as I know, there's a that's what I was looking for. And what did you? Oh yeah. So you'll have to excuse my moderate level of incompetence here as I fumble around rebuilding this. So this is the first 2330 that I've worked on. So as such, I am not to be expected to get everything 100% right yet. I might have to go back and do it twice. I'm just glad I remember to do this now, rather than when I'd finished building it. And then I go, why does that not work? I need to get a compressor as well. Just one of those little 3 litre airbrush type compressors, not one of the 20 litre shop vac things. Okay. Who in their right minds decided to put the power connector on like this? I mean, really. Oh, how in heaven's name are you supposed to get that? The only reason why I'm sort of cursing about this is because I know when I was trying to get the board out, it was, of course, the cable that was holding back everything, and I couldn't see it anywhere because it's on the underside. I don't know, maybe there's some magical way of getting this one in, but I don't know. God damn. What is it with the DCM boards? Upside down clamping Zenos. Which ones are those? What have I missed there? The DCM boards, I think the problem is that with the MagSafe connector, if it's offset slightly, it tends to not connect up well enough, and you get a bit of you get pitting there as well, and junk gets in there. Aha, gotcha. And so I think over time they get progressively dirtier and nasty. But at the same time, I think they also get blamed more often than they are rightfully meant to be blamed. They're a bit like the iPhone TriStar. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like now every damn person on every phone repair group on Facebook or whatever, instead of Rehop Bro, it's now TriStar Bro. Yeah, replace TriStar Bro. 100% fix. Yeah, it's getting a bit old, that sort of chit chat. I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of TriStar failures. Ah, sweet Bridget. I'd love to know how Lewis does this so quick. I can tell I've got more trapped cables under there. Seriously, it's a talent to be able to get these in quick. A talent I do not yet have. Oh well. Practice, eh? And then you wonder whether you're squishing a cable or you've forgotten one or... Aha. Now you can get the feel of when something's not quite sitting right, and you're just sort of wondering whether you need to jostle around a little bit, get it to shift just that wee fraction. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I threw out the broken one that was in this, but anyone who's seen my Facebook posts will see that it had quite a lot of damage on one pin. Hey, Farfan. Hummed it. I want a little compressor for quite a lot of things. I used to have one, and then the regulator on it blew, and a few other things just went wrong, and I tossed it out. But yeah, I've certainly been wanting to get another one. One with a reservoir on it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a big reservoir, but it has to be enough that I can do sustained bursts of air into things. Okay. These keyboard connectors are another hellish point I've noticed. They can pretend that they're in, but they're not. Yeah, ask them like, are you in? Like, oh yeah, totally bro. Yeah, I'm in all the way. And then you fire it up and it's like, just kidding. Just only half in. Come back and finish me off. Yeah, now that I think about what I just said, that's probably not a good thing to say. Erase and rewind that. Okay, wow, jeez. Why the hell are you not lined up properly? Let me guess. You're not the right... Somehow I think I've got the wrong... I've got the wrong DC inbook adapter here. It works, but it doesn't have the right... crap. Oh, that is annoying. There's basically no point me going any further. That's alright. It means I'll just have to wait until Thursday or something. Hey, Greg. Yeah, they don't last very long. Yeah, I'm not really after anything that's going to last a significant amount of time, but I do just want to have enough so I can clear out a lot of things on laptops and whatnot. Certainly not PC level type stuff. But I'll see if I just make sure this actually does boot up all the way. Just unfortunately that the alignment of this DC in port is going to be all wrong. Damn. Typical. It's another 20 or 30 bucks to get one of those. I will say having a microscope makes putting these things back together significantly easier. Get in. Just sad this has to all be undone later anyway. But it will be nice to see if it boots. Oh, you've been abused. I'm not going to put the hard drive in, but I will just fire up. Hopefully the MagSafe will still work through that gap. Yep. Okay, we've got a green light. Where's the on-off switch? Told you I haven't worked on these before. Oh, there it is. Alright, we do not have the on-off switch working, which means that keyboard flex is probably not in properly. Yeah, and I would say that'd be about right. Knew it was talking about it. Yep, there we go, so it's not even in. I would rank these as being one of the most annoying connectors to get in. What the hell? Keep picking up that. It's not funny. Green. We've got fan spin. Alright. Well, we've got a screen. I didn't hear a dong, but then maybe this one doesn't dong. Just wait to see if it comes up the folder icon. I don't have a problem with Apple equipment. Like I said, I use iPhones and I've got 2 MacBook Pro Retinas. Of course I didn't pay for them, but oh, there we go, we've got a folder icon, so that's good, that's working. At least I'm fairly confident. I suppose I should really test the hard drive. I think one thing that does concern me is, given the age of this machine, this hard drive has to be rather close to needing to go up to the hard drive resting place. I mean, I don't want to jinx myself or anything, but idiot. Anyone know if you can just change these over to a solid state? Like if I use DD Rescue on this, will it let me? So what is this? This is a 250 gigabyte drive. That is old. If I just migrate that to a Samsung 250 gigabyte solid state with DD Rescue, would that work? No. Rossman has a guy for DS and reassembly. He just works on the boards. Oh, well, that's kind of helpful, yeah. Is there a way to convert dead GPU to use CPU? Tim, there is another guy called, I think it was TCRS, who worked out how to do that. It looks like we're booting. I suppose I should conceal their privacy there. Yeah, okay, it was TCRS. Yeah, he found a way to modify the BIOS and such to make it work. I'm not sure if that was through still macOS or whether it was something else. Let's have a look. Yep, that's looking right on the mark for me. So I'm happy with that. Pardon me. The only trouble is, it's this damn MagSafe connector. So at least I'm going to be able to report to the person that it does work, and their beloved computer will carry on for another day or three. And I just need to order in a MagSafe. I can't believe I made that mistake. I hope they do have stock of these ones. Yep, everything there is working. I'm assuming yep, I was going to say, I just assume I hold that down. It should do it. Okay. So yeah, it's all fixed. I nearly got trolled by it by the fact that when I tested it originally, it did give me a green light. But then, yeah, it didn't. And in the end, it was just the comparator that was faulty. So it might be worth getting a couple of those if you ever do come across these earlier one-wire circuits. The comparators are 30 cents a piece. So you get 10 of them and you'll cover that in your first job. Alright. Well, I don't know what else I've got tonight. Now I've just got some iPhone trash that I'm going to finish up. I've got a Intel NUC that I'm trying to finish up. It's just taken forever to transfer the data across from the other old machine. Merge folders. Oh dear lord, yes, merge. Merge. What? File conflict. Skip. Skip. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's surprising how much time it can take to migrate old machine setups to new ones. So if you do that, or you are going to quote on that, make sure you quote well above what you think it's going to be. Take whatever you think it's going to take and then quadruple it at least. Shame, Cormac, sorry. Is this a MacBook Pro 15? Yeah, it's a 15 inch. It's a 8202330. What is the model code on this one? Oh, this is going to need a wash. I'm not sufficiently familiar with the A1286. There you go. Looks like it's got 4 gigs of RAM in it, 250 gig hard drive. So yeah, the NUCs, I really do like the NUCs a lot. I'll probably have one for my workstation, but for my encoding machine that's going to replace this laptop, I will be getting most likely a Coffee Lake i5. The performance of the i5 8400, I think it is, it's pretty much on par with the i7 7700. It's cheaper, it's more recent, it's got better efficiency, and hard not to choose it. And I'll probably put a 256 gig solid state on, and we'll see how we go. I'll have to put a HDMI capture facility on it so that I can get the camera for the microscope. So at the moment the microscope's only working through USB, which is why it's not quite as sharp as it could be. Hey Ashes, oh man, this is error while copying. The reason why it's got the errors is because you better not skip them. It's because there were bad sectors on that drive that I had to recover. So it's just finding them. Alright, the other thing I have to do is get a bunch of new monitors. At the very least, I need to get two 1080p, probably 22, 24 inch, maybe 27. Yeah, actually probably 27. Because right now I'm running on a laptop screen, which is the classic 1366 720, and then up here I've got a 1280 1024, and it makes doing Open Broadcaster rather awkward because it just sort of reshapes everything. Anyway, YouTube keeps censoring Ryzen. Well, I saw it when you posted it up just before. Oh, Firephone posted it, and it seemed to work. I was looking at the Ryzens, the R5, is it? The Ryzen 5, whatever. But then when Intel brought out the Coffee Lake i5, I switched back. So I've always been an AMD fan. I mean, I used to have Opterons and all that sort of thing, but I gotta admit, these days I just been the boring old default back to Intel just works type person, particularly with Intel Linux. I know AMD works with Linux, and they do a lot of microcode development to try and optimize the AMD processors with Linux usage. But time and time again, I keep coming back to Intel for this sort of thing, for stuff that I need to just be able to sit down and have it work. The Opterons were really actually very good. I was very happy I had the Opteron machines. Unfortunately, that was quite a while ago. So I'm going to leave this up tonight. That took us about 50 minutes or so, of which most was me babbling away and then cursing about the fact that I got the wrong DC in board. But it's a job, it's fixed, so I'm happy about that. And with that, I am going to leave you all until the next time I come up with something. I'm not sure. I've got a laptop that, what have we got? An Asus X5500. It's not 5500, X550. It's doing an intermittent boot loop shutdown, and that's a real pain because often that can be just one tiny little 0603 part somewhere on the board that has an end cap that's broken off. I've dealt with it before and it's taken me weeks. I really don't want to have to do that again, but it could well be that. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm out of here. Until next time, you all take care. I'll see you later.